Hi Step Artists, it's Lydia. I'm back. I hope you're ready for another project. This project is called Sunny Roll, and I'm going to show you how to make it. The materials that I used are, I used paper towel roll, and for this one, for the head, we're going to do something different. We're going to use a toilet paper roll, and I'm going to show you how. And I also have some paper shavings here. If you don't have paper shavings, you can just take a little bit of time and maybe cut out some paper, or maybe take a napkin and cut out the napkin just like this. Just like cut like a tiny strings, and then cut as many as you can, because that's going to be for the hair. Okay, so you can do that, and I have the shavings here. I also used acrylic paints. So I have some primary and secondary colors here. So I have some blue, and I have yellow, and I have red, and then I have some orange and green and purple, and of course I have black and white, because I'm gonna definitely need that for her or his eyes. Okay. And I also have some light blue here, but you can get the lighter colors mixing in some white, of course. I have water, of course, for my brushes, and I have brushes. And we're going to start by painting the paper towel roll, but before we start painting, we're going to do the head a little bit differently. It's just kind of easier approach to this. Just in case your paper roll is like too hard and you can't squeeze it, because on this one I squeezed the top, and then I took some paper, cardboard paper, and then I glued it here. Just gonna show you how I did the first one. And then I did this. Okay, so I put the tape in the back to hold it. And then I used some liquid glue to make a head. Whoop, lost a head. Okay. So that's the one you see here. She came with the head, but the head is just gone because it's very windy here. Okay. So we're gonna do a little bit differently, but you're also gonna use, you will need some masking tape, okay? Masking tape is better than just a regular duct tape, because it's made out of paper and it's easy to paint over it, okay? So I have another whole roll that I'm gonna start with. I have some napkins that I'm gonna use for my project and to wipe the brushes, so have some with you. If you want to have some fabric, if you want to use fabric, you're more than welcome to use fabric, okay? And I'm gonna show you what we're gonna do with this one. So I'm gonna take, we're gonna make a head, and I'm gonna take this toilet paper roll, and I'm going to cut it somewhere in half, like this. Good. And I'm gonna use my masking tape, and I'm gonna tape the sides here, okay? Side. And there's another side. Good. So now I have head and body ready. We're gonna add her hands later, don't you worry. So I'm gonna start painting. I'm gonna paint the entire roll. And I'm going to paint it in orange. It's sunny roll, so I'm going to paint it in orange. So you see the paint is going over the masking tape and it's covering it. That's why you wanted to do this before you start painting. You want to have the whole body. Well, hands are coming later, as we said. I'm going to mix in some red. And you can play with colors. You can paint the body in any color you want. So I really made some sun here. Have some orange and red and yellow. Okay, so while this is still wet, I'm not gonna let it dry, okay? I'm gonna take napkin. And I'm gonna start wrapping over it. Okay, while the roll is still wet. Because the paint is acting like a glue now, and it's actually coming through, which is great, which is what I want. I can also paint over this. Okay. So this is going to bring in some texture to the body, and as I said, I can paint over it. And if you just add some water on this, the paint from under the napkin is going to come through. Okay? So everything that sticks out, you can basically put some paint on your brush and you can press it in with the brush. Okay? So you have a texture here already. I'm just using water now for the rest because I do want this napkin texture to show through. And if you have some fun napkins with different kind of textures, feel free to use them because that's gonna look really cool. Mine is just a simple one, but you can also see that it has some texture in it. Okay. So now I'm gonna paint the head. And you can paint the head in any colors you want. Okay, I have a head. Good. I'm gonna set it on the side. And now I'm going to add some hair inside. I don't want to paint anything over the face now because it's not dry yet. But you see, this little paper towel, this little toilet paper roll is kind of helping with the hair because I can stuck all this inside. I don't even need glue. I just need to push it all the way in. Okay? So she has hair here, and I can push this inside too. So as I said, if you don't have the shavings, if you don't have the paper shavings, you can cut the napkin, but you need to cut a lot so you have enough hair. Or if you want just a little bit of hair, that's fine too. But you do want to stuff this pretty much. You don't want the hole to be exposed. Okay? So you see this little hole here? I can also put some paper shavings in. Just carefully. Okay. So she has hair. I guess it's she. You can make he. Doesn't really matter. Good. So I'm gonna do her. Before I do her hands, I can do some details over this. So you see how on this one I wrapped a little wire around it. I can do that too. Or I can add some details such as buttons, or I can do the belt. So let's do that. Let's see. What can she have? She can have a green buttons. Green buttons, and I want her to have a purple belt. Purple and orange are a great contrast, and it's gonna look good. So just holding her head, and I can turn this around. Okay. This little belt. Add a little button to the belt. Good. Okay. And I'm gonna take a little brush to add some more details. You can play with this. You can add anything you want. So I'm getting some dark blue. Okay. So I'm adding just the stripes here, just to make this fun. Okay. Good. And if you have some piece of wire or something, you can play with this part too. So you can wrap a piece of yarn, a piece of wire, a soft wire, or anything you have handy. Okay. So we're just decorating her outfit. So she's almost done, but she needs her hands. And I will use the paper towel roll, okay, for her hands. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut it like this, and then I have this little rectangle here. And then I'm gonna cut one string, and then I'm gonna add hands. For this, I want to glue hands. So I'm going to use regular glue to glue the hands in the back. This is going to take some time to dry, but here's one, here's another one. If you have a longer piece of cardboard, feel free to cut a longer string so you can just wrap it around her, okay? I just used this piece of toilet paper that I had. So I used a portion for the head and I used the rest for the hands. And this liquid glue is actually holding pretty well, so I don't need to do anything. So she's actually standing. Okay. I will do her face now. I will take a little brush and I will do eyes. And then you can play with eyebrows, you can play with lips, do anything you want. So you see I'm going to put black circle, white circle, and then little tiny black circle for eyes. Here. I'm going to add some white circles inside, and I need a very, very clean brush for this because it has to be white. And for yours, you do want to wait for this to dry, maybe 2-3 minutes, okay? So I'm gonna do the lips now, and then I'm gonna add 2 little dots inside. So I'll do purple lips because if I do red, I don't think they're gonna stick up too much. Enough. Okay. So you can add as many details as you want. And I just figured something very fun that you can do, and I'm going to show it to you just in a second when I finish her eyes, because she's almost done. But as I said, You can play with details as much as you want to. Here, this is her eye. So these are her eyes. And I can also add one little dot for the nose. Okay, just a tiny nose. So I was just looking at her hands and I noticed that I can maybe go ahead and cut the edges here to just make fingers. So let's see how's this gonna work. So I'm gonna lay her down like this. And then I'm gonna cut little fingers. So I did 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. And I can spread them apart like this. I'm gonna do the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. And spread them apart like this. And then I'm gonna press this back a little bit because I want this is still drying, okay? And she's all done. What you can do, if you want, to take this in another level, you can paint her fingernails. Here. So this is Miss Sunny Roll, and I hope you had fun. I hope you enjoyed watching this, and I hope you're going to enjoy making this too. I will see you soon.